National consensus and social norms. What are we trying to say here, cover here in this topic? So there are lots of situations where we are just not prepared on how to respond. There are real life examples of things happen all around us, and we're just not prepared on what to do, what to say. Maybe we are at a picnic and our best friend gets into a fight with their significant other or with a child and is getting heated. What do we do? Do we intervene? Do we let them be? Do we just look the other way that is just not happening, be an ostrich? Maybe we started a new job and our employer really wanted this job. One of the best, most sought after companies really wanted this. We waited too hard. We are without a job. We've been without a job for a while. The income is really important. And yet, the first day at work, we find out that they're cheating, uh, hiding facts or changing the facts. Maybe it's an FDA, waiting for FDA approval, it's about to submit the package, and they're fudging up the numbers. Clearly, bad things will happen if you let them continue. If you do nothing, if you speak nothing. Should we speak up? Should we do something at the time? Maybe we gave the example of cheating. How about something which is doesn't directly is not as dramatic as that, but it could have dramatic implications. We have seen when cases of blasphemy come out and they just appear on our national scene, and now we are trying to figure out as a country that's based on the religion, how should we respond? How should we behave? What should we do? What's permissible and what's not? What policies should we have? We've seen the examples of the Danish magazine that printed cartoons that did not paint the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a positive light. Again, what should we do? Do we boycott the magazine? Do we boycott the country? Do we boycott all their products? Do we burn their embassy? What are the things that we should do? So again, the challenge is when we are thrown into a completely unexpected situation, individually or collectively, we just don't know what to do, how to respond to that. It always is often later when we are thinking about what happened, playing it back in our minds, we're saying, yeah, maybe I could have done something differently. Or maybe I said this, but I should have said something else. Maybe someone was trying to put us down. I did not have a comeback, but now I have a great comeback because of what I should have said at the moment. Right? So again, in hindsight, when we're looking back at it, we can maybe come up with a better scenario. Or maybe you said something instead rather than in all the examples we have said, you chose to remain quiet. Maybe you said something, but now you're regretting. Maybe you spoiled a relationship that you had. So, in this topic, we are trying to address the possibility that as a nation, we'll have tons and tons of these scenarios where we'll just not know how to respond, or where two different people, two different groups will respond differently. We can't have that. We need to have one response as one nation, as one country, as one people. We need to decide collectively, consciously, with the right stakeholders part of the decision on how we should respond. Back to the example of that Danish cartoon. What should we do? Whether it's issuing a policy, condemning the action, or a boycott or a certain product, or just a protest, whatever it is, I don't want us to arbitrarily decide at the spur of the moment, in the heat of the moment, individually. I'd rather have a national consensus, national decision that takes all the pros and cons and comes up with a decision that we all would agree to abide by. Same is the case with the charges of blasphemy. Yes, we are a country. We want to tell ourselves we're a country based on the law, and the law has to be respected by everyone. We love the prophet. We love the sanctity of the religion and the religious books and the prophet and all the prophets. And someone does supposedly, allegedly, does something to tarnish that. Again, what do we do? Take the matter into our own hands, or let the system decide with it, or the system deal with it? What should the system do? Again, consensus. I'm not saying what the right answer is. Again, that's really for a group of people to come forward, to come close and decide. And by this, I really want a large cross section of experts in the area, whether they are psychologists or they are religious scholars or they're academic advisors, whatever they are, whatever the specialties are. Every question is a unique question which requires a unique answer. We need to pose a question to this group and let them do all the brainstorming the options A, B, C, analysis for all the options. But I want this group to come back to us and tell us, as a nation, this should be our response, this should be our approach. And we do this. In the absence of a discussion of an agreement like this, what happens is mob violence. We all get out of control. Maybe we are saying we are acting out of sheer passion. We are not. We're just acting recklessly. We're just taking the law into our own hands and taking the situation into our own hands. And oftentimes we're destroying the situation by our actions or by our words. We cannot afford to do that. So here we just gave you a few examples up front. There would be, trust me on this, there would be lots and lots of situations, scenarios where we would need to have a national consensus, national debate. And listen, let's say we agree to do A today, and down the road we decide as a country that maybe B would have been a better option. Yes, we'll adopt, we'll switch over to B. From that point onwards, when that particular situation arises, we'll all do B instead of doing A. But whether it's A or B or C, I want the group to decide and educate us, maybe by way of public service announcements. Here's a situation, here's a scenario that could potentially happen. This is what we should do as a country, as people, and this is how the country's interests would be represented. Okay? All right.